longevity, understanding, and integrity. Me and you, we on the road. Graduate, self-discovery. Got a lot to learn in this life, and I'm excited. Gonna do it with my people like mine. Yeah. How she gonna be? What do you need? How she gonna be?
Good evening, good evening, good evening, Lions. I want to welcome you to tonight's. I'm just been waiting for this for so long. I just almost can't contain myself. But tonight's maiden voyage of Reboot. And you see my two young lions that are here and ready, y'all. They are ready. Lena, wave at them, Lena. Come on, give them that. Come on, come on. Oh my goodness, I can't hardly take it. And Shelly is in the house. Come on and give it up. Come on and give it up. Come on and give it up. I'm so happy. Now, you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I'm so excited. Tonight, I'm going to break the rule, and we're going to give them some applause. Yes, we are. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to start off by just saying, for everybody that's been waiting with bated breath, I want to thank Jonna CPW. She's in the house. Lions in the Lions Den. I want to give it up, yes, for Sheila Miles, who said she just can't contain herself. She's loving it. She's waiting on it. Been waiting the whole day, I'm sure. Thank you for being in the Lions Den. Dalen came in through the test. Dalen 628. I want to appreciate you. You said, let's ride. I'm with you, girl. Let's do this thing and get it done. Thank you so much for coming in the Lions Den. Listen, I want to talk to Stacy 546. You said when I said it was rated R, this was the one that you could come in and sit comfortably. Well, baby, this is your podcast and you can enjoy yourself and express yourself the way that you want to. I want to say thank you for coming on in the room. And to everybody else that's here but not in my chat, Jonna CPW, if I missed you, I'm so glad, and thank you for doing the test run with us. I really do appreciate you. Sister Gwen Hollenshed is in the room. Hello, sis. Hello. I'm so glad that you're here with our young lions. Thank you, SK. That intro was strong. Let me just stop and say it was written, sung, everything by Lena Will, who actually put all of that. Come on, let me do it one more time. Yes, she did that thing, y'all. She did that. She did it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We want y'all to reboot. Again, this is the maiden voyage of Reboot. I want to thank you so much for coming in and being a part of this first time out the gate for these two young lions. Hey, thank you for liking the stream, Rashida Renee. I appreciate you. With that being said, you know how we always do. We want you to like the stream. For those that are in Twitch, go ahead and share the stream, host the stream, subscribe to the stream. And it's because you guys keep putting it out there for us that our algorithm, we out there in those algorithm streets, and we just keep going farther and farther. I do want to say, for these two young lions, I want y'all to push them as far as they can go, because, hey, they got something to say, and they are on the ball. So I know that this is going to be very promising and very beneficial. Want you to get the young folks out, get the old folks out. The young and the old are going forth together, and we're going to have a good little chat. Now, as we like to do before we get started, we try to get all of our station identification out of the way. I want to give my appreciation to our corporate sponsor, the Rebel Inc., who is always there. She always keeps us together. She always keeps us going. And so I want to stop right now and come on. Yeah, we can give her some applause. I see you, Shelly. I see you. I see you. Come on. Come on. We don't have problems with giving up love over here. We got nothing but love for everybody. Now listen, I want you to go out there and get you some. The Rebel Inc. has athletic and leisure wear where you don't just have to be the message, you can actually wear the message. Get your hands on some of this. Yes, therebelinc.com. Go out there, and as Monica L. Smith always says, get you some. I want you to get you some. It will bless your whole entire life. Now, before we get started, we always like to go ahead and run all of our announcements and get all of that out of the way so that we can, once we start this conversation with these two beautiful young lions, they can just roll and flow the way that they want to flow. So I always like to give an opportunity for anyone that wants to know when and how and where we are out here putting up and sharing and giving the love all the way that we can to be the change that we want to see. I want you to just stop and pay attention and write these times down if you want to be engaged. And as soon as we get finished with this, these beautiful ladies are coming at you. Here we go. Yes, those are all the opportunities that you have to come and be a part of Spiritual Thought Leader and what we're doing out here in these here streets. And we appreciate your support. Now, what we've been waiting for, the moment, the time has come, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce to you these two beautiful lions. The baby better pass me a snack. She's tearing it up. Y'all can talk. Y'all can go ahead and unmute yourselves.
A lazy chip, a crack, something.
Mother is tearing it up.
A juice box. I need something.
She wants y'all to know it because she's over here in the camera just munch.
She's showing us in this direction.
See, that is hilarious. Good evening, Crazy Berry Town. Come on now. Come on in the room, Crazy Berry Town. Thank you for coming through.
Hey.
Now, this is, listen to SK. Yes, that's a pretty baby. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, SK8843. I know that's your grandbaby, and she is gorgeous. She is absolutely gorgeous. Now, to get us started, and I want you all to give these young lions all your love, all of your the prayers, support, everything, because they may be a little nervous tonight because this is their first time out of the gate. But I'm telling you, you are in for a treat. I want both of them, both Lena and Shelly, to introduce themselves and kind of give us an idea of how we all know each other. And let's just flow and have a good time tonight. Come on, Lena, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, hey, y'all. Like Aunt Jean said, I'm Lena. I know Aunt Jean. I keep calling her Jean. I know Aunt Jean because she's my aunt. You know, we've been family for a long, long time. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. You know, we're going to come here. We're going to have some good conversation, you know, so feel free to put questions or comments, and we want to interact with y'all. So I'm excited.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, Lena. And yes, these are both my beautiful nieces. And out here in these streets, I am known to the young folks as Aunt Jean. So I'm everybody's Aunt Jean, but these are my nieces by blood and by love. And I love them to absolute pieces. Oh, my goodness. Good evening, Mel Holiday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on, Lena, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me what you're up to. Tell me the things that you like, your hobbies.
Yes, I am. I like to. I am a singer songwriter slash hairstylist. So that's basically what takes my time. So I love to write songs. I love to sing music. As you guys heard the intro, I'm grateful to be able to do that. That was a lot of fun for me. And I do hair. I like to be in people's face and ask them all type of questions and make them look cute by the end of the appointment. That's what I do.
And you do it well. And you do it well. Now I'm gonna put you on the spot. But it doesn't matter because it's you ready, you able, and you're willing. I know you are. Sing a little something, something, Lena. Sing us a little something. Jonna said sing and style. Sing and style. And she sings with style. So get something down in your shondo right about now and just give us a little taste of something, girl. We just need a little taste. Just a little taste.
I usually charge a little extra for this when I'm doing people hair and I hum a little bit and they say, "Oh, you sound good." I say it's an extra 50 for me to place a song on top of this stack. So
get your coins, get your coins, get your coins.
Get your coins.
Hey, Jean's gonna pay you after this is over, baby.
Okay, here we go. Let me see. What can I sing? What am I feeling? I'm feeling real good. We on a reboot you. See what I'm saying? I said we on a reboot, but you can be on a reboot during a reboot.
Come on. Sometimes you reboot on the reboot.
On the reboot.
On the reboot. That's where you reboot. You understand the words that are. That's how you do it, girl. On the love boat, on the reboot, whatever boat you get on, just reboot.
Boat you get on. Make sure you reboot. That's all you got to do.
Just reboot. Just reboot. Come on here. Come on. We gonna give it up for Lena Will because she gave it to us. She gave it to us. She gave it to us. Stacy said, "Dang." Good evening, Shay Floyd. Good evening to another thought leader in the house, and this girl is for real. So glad that you joined us on tonight. Now, as you can see, Shelly Welly, I'm gonna call her Shelly Welly. That's my niece. She said, "Listen, let me get the babies in the picture." Brother Sean, look at him. He's holding it up. He's representing. I see fingers. I see everything going on there. Shelly represents all the moms out there, all the young women that are holding it down, loving their husbands, loving their kids, loving life. Come on, Shelly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I mean, that's it. I'm Shelly. I'm a avid baby juggler, as you guys can see. I'm a snack distributor. I am a drink giver and a milk provider, and I love it. I love every single second of it.
What are your, let's see, let me unmuted. Tell us some of your hobbies. Tell us some of the things that you like to do. Listen, everybody said they about to get in that camera. I see a piece of Jameis's head. I think I may have, come on, Jameis, get him on in the shot. Get him in the shot. This is my great nephew. Look at that perfect face.
Yeah, I swear during the test run, everyone was like real polite and quiet, and like now we're here and everybody wants to be a part of the show.
Listen,
they can't hear you, but this is Jameis for everyone who doesn't know. This is my oldest, and this is Sean. This is my youngest, and then the snacker was Langston.
See, and that's what
the middle baby.
That's really what mothers have to deal with. And so this is organic. This is real. This is the way we make it happen. All the babies in the house said, "Listen, we gonna get in this picture." Listen, Sister Cunningham in the room. Shayna Cunningham. She said, "Those are my grandsons." Am I pronouncing that name correctly? Is it Shayna or Shanna?
Shanna.
It's Shayna.
That's my mom.
Come on. You are in the room, and thank you so much for coming to Reboot in our maiden voyage. And yes, those are your grandbabies. Be proud, baby. Be proud, because there's something to be proud of. Now, as far as I want you guys to kind of get comfortable, get relaxed, get to a point where I want the nerves to kind of wear. Are y'all feeling pretty good?
Oh yeah, I feel great. I mean, I'm a little sweaty, but I'm doing some baby ups over here.
Okay, so we ready to jump in. And I want you all out there to know that I'm just here kind of in the moderator role, but these ladies are going to carry it. They have phenomenal minds. They have phenomenal thoughts. So I'm going to kick back and just really let them do the talking, because I want to hear what our young folks have on their mind and on their hearts. And so these are ideas and thoughts that they have come up with. I'm going to throw it out there, throw them the ball. They're going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. But whoever wants to start, we talked about connection, and there was that sense and belief that connection is key to a successful life. Talking about the new age self-dependent narrative, pros and cons, comparisons to what connections meant back in the day and what do connections mean now. Kind of give us your thoughts, and let's flow with that for a second.
Yeah. So I mean, I believe that, you know, in life, connection is going to be at the top of the list when it comes to your quality of life, for the most part, you know, because if, you know, you think about anything, you know, you have all these people in the world, everybody, you know, you have family, you have friends, you have community. And I feel like once you start kind of getting away from that, you feel disconnected. I feel like that it takes a toll, you know. When you're around a lot of people, you feel a lot of energy. I think that's why the babies came in, because they felt the energy from this podcast.
Come on here. Come on. Yes. Yes.
They said, what's over there? We all connect, you know. And so I always think that I'm always trying to figure out. That's something I don't think it's something you realize at first, you know, but as you grow older, you start to think, oh, okay, this is that. But I started to realize that, especially when I felt like I was at a point in my life where it was like not a good time. And so in those moments, in that era of my life, I felt like I learned that connection is definitely a lifeline.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's important to talk about, you know, and get people to be mindful of it. You know, it's not something we probably think about. You know, you think, oh, you know, I'm going to my mama's house, or, oh, they having a party over here, or, you know, things like that. But if you we're mindful of it and know, like, this is really giving you life.
Yeah. Do you feel before I go there, I want to go to Shelly, and I'm gonna break all of these different pieces of this dynamic down in bite-sized pieces. But Shelly, pull me in, your idea of connection and what it means for your quality of life.
I mean, I very much agree with Lena. I think connection is extremely important to building your character, establishing like your ability to network and do all sorts of things in regular life. And I think it shows a sign of maturity when you're able to. I know we were talking, off pod the other day about oh wow, just lost it. We were talking about kind of when the cancel culture comes about and everyone's like, oh, I didn't like something they did, so be away with them. And although sometimes I'm like, it's necessary, other times I'm like, well, why can't we work out what we don't like? We can coexist while having two completely different opinions of things. I think connection is very important. And when you don't agree with someone, I think it shows more maturity to be able to discuss why you don't agree and find a level ground with each other. You don't have to just, oh, bye, I don't need you because you guys disagree.
I love that.
And I like the topic of connections back in the day and connection now, because we always talk about, especially with children, it takes a village. And I think the village has definitely changed in how it looks in size and the type of people are in our village. And that's an important part of building your children. Building their lives, who you have them around.
Awesome. Lena, the connection then and now, how do you feel about it?
It's a lot to think about when you think about, then and now. But what my mind goes to is like, in the day, you would live in these places, wherever you lived, everybody knew each other or in the neighborhood. knew each other. Oh, that's Miss Jenkins' house. Oh, that's Tay Tay them, and all that's, you know what I mean. And like now, you know, you don't know who you're living next to. Nobody's having house parties. You know, you don't usually, you don't usually go up to people and hey, how you doing? You know, so I think that's changed. You know, the whole idea where, we've gone through the pandemic, and so now everything is more so. We have like less people go out to group events. I know it's kind of getting back to regular, but I think has changed what connection looks like. And so I think it's like a period where you have to kind of get adjusted to that. So I think that's a little interesting. Now, as far as what Shelly said, where the outlook of what a village looks like now, I think that's so true, because back in the day, you have a baby, you birth the baby, and then you can even really hold the baby, because your mama, then the dad's mother, then your sisters, and your aunts, everybody's taking the baby from you. Like, did I have a baby or did y'all have a baby? I'm confused. But now it's like, that's your baby, and you got it. You made that baby. You. That's you. So that's a little different now. I've heard that so many times, but I think I'm not sure why the shift has been made, but I think it's interesting. I would like to get back to those connected community days, because it had.
Me too.
Look, here, can you hand the baby through the video? I'll take.
Now, I do want to ask, do you all think that, now, my parents, my aunts and uncles were really, some of them not aunts and uncles, because cousins lived in the same household with other cousins. So like my dad, his mother passed away. His dad was raising them, but then they also went into the home of his uncle's house, and so the uncle's children and my dad and them and their siblings were all raised together as one. So I called people auntie and uncle that were really cousins, but they were like blood because they'd always been together. Then I had my mother, who had extended family, who her mother owned the house, but then the mother's sisters all lived with the mother with their children in the same house. So you had that extended on both sides with my dad and my mom. Then we came down to a point where it was just us in the house, but we had anybody that was in need in the family could come live with us, literally. And I could go through a list of people that just came and lived with us, because that's the way that we were raised. It wasn't the generational all in the same house that they had. But still, you had all of these other generations coming and going extended. Then I think there went a phase where people were popping babies out and leaving them with mama and grandma and going on about their business. And grandma and mamas was like, listen, I raised mine.
They ruined it.
I'm sorry, Lena, say that again.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So then you have the grandmothers who are actually, actual mothers to their grandkids, and so it's like, what do? Like, you want to like these kids and be here for these kids, but not all the time.
It's like, and then I hear what you said. It's like you had the pleasure and laid down and made them, but you're not going to leave them here with me to take care of. And so I think there came a generation that was like, listen, we just ain't having it, because it's actually at a place where it's being abused. But I think that we really, Lena, you had a good point. Shelly, you had a good point. We really need to have that connection back, because what it has done is disconnect us from the next generation. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that you bring about something that I didn't quite consider, is that circumstance matters much as well, because there are some people who did raise their grandchildren. So then when it comes time to actually spend that connection time with them, it's like, well, I have you daily, so now it's time for you to actually go connect with mom. So some households just don't allow that time. I think circumstance definitely matters when it comes to the connections that we make. But I also think that we have to take, as parents, responsibility for making sure that we kind of hear our parents when they say, like, look, I've seen y'all a lot this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see y'all a little less next week.
Yes.
They don't say it. Grandparents love the baby so much. They're just like, yeah, bring them. Come on, let's do it. And really, you can see them kind of slowing down in process of how things go and how things work.
But I don't think that kids do that. Like, I think they do it subconsciously, because I think what it is that it's hard. Well, there's a phase where you kind of understand that your mother or your parents are not just parents. They are people, and they had all this life before you, and they have dreams and goals, and they have all, and it's hard for a child to see their mother and father as a more so like a whole human being, because they've only been mother, father to them. So then once you start having children, it's like a natural, like, oh, you mothered me, so I want to like mother with you. But it's like you have to, like, it has to be some type of realization where it's like, yeah, she did or they did parent you, but now it's, parenting is a phase, I feel like. And then once you get through to a certain extent, the motherhood like should turn into like a, advisement and less mothering. And I think that might be like the disconnect, because it's hard to see your parents. It's hard to realize that, actually, I feel like. And I remember when I was I was watching this, Oprah had like this, she does those master classes, but she had a class where it was just mothers and daughters. And there was this lady who came on there, and she had young kids, and she was like, my mother is this, she doesn't come around, and she doesn't want to be around the kids. And, we're trying to figure out why did she change? I wanted her to be around while my kids were young. And I was like, yeah, that seemed kind of crazy. But Oprah and like the mother and like the older women were like, no, it's time for me. And I was just like, that's interesting. But yeah, I think it's because I didn't realize that at a certain point, you need the relationship and the dynamics need to change.
Okay. So how do we change that dynamic in a wholesome, healthy way? Because if I heard you correctly, I hear both of you identifying, this may be a little bit extreme. Disconnect is what we're talking about, and connection. But I almost hear some level of abandonment from your generation and saying, hey, we just out here, and it's like, listen, you had them babies, you on your own, you figure it out. Am I being extreme in saying that it sounds like y'all might be implying there's a little sense of abandonment in this process?
Abandonment is heavy. That's heavy. I wouldn't go that far, for sure. Because listen, all my people on here, on this stream, y'all here for me. I need y'all.
Right.
But no, I still wouldn't. Personally, I just believe that I witness it more than I experience it, if I'm being honest, because I do have a really awesome tribe. But I do witness a lot of times where people are just like, my kids don't really know their grandparents. So, but not just grandparents, like aunts, uncles, and aunties, which is why I brought up circumstance, because I try to keep my kids very connected, although the circumstance that we are in, we're not living in the same town as family. But I still try to keep my kids very connected with the people around them who would be around them normally. FaceTime technology has brought us far, because FaceTime works, the Google Duo, all the different apps that allow us to still be face to face without being in person.
Yes,
are very, very helpful if we're talking about rebooting that connection. I think maybe it comes to the point where you have to reach out, even though it doesn't really feel like your responsibility to reach out. It's like, oh, that's my mom, she'll call when she wants to talk, but it's like, mom's a little busy, grandma gets busy, so reach out to her, see how she's doing, and maybe you'll kind of rebuild that broken bridge.
And I think Sheila Miles said something. Let me go up and see if I can catch that. That there has to be a balance, and she does identify. I'm gonna go back and see. Oh man, I can see if I can get it to scroll back up, y'all. Let me get it to scroll back up. She said grandparents have to be careful not to overstep. Parents' rules are the priority. And so do you feel like sometimes there's some confusion there when you start pulling in parents in the situation of your family, and the grandparents want to overstep and overrule the parents? Do you feel like that's a problem?
Not for me, no. I don't feel like, I know Lena is probably just like, I don't know. But for me, I don't feel like I've had grandparents overstep into my parenting. I call out to everybody for advice. I've called out to mother-in-law, mom, grandma. I've called out to great grandparents. I mean, I really love the support that I get.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
I would say that back to when you said maybe we feel a little bit of abandonment. I don't think it's abandonment. I think it's a misunderstanding on both ends.
Okay.
And so if you don't take the time to like communicate with each other and really understand where each person or each group is at, then you get a disconnect. Then you get, well, mama doesn't want to do this, or oh, my kids don't, you know what I mean? And then I also want to say that, it's also communication is important for connection, because if you don't communicate, communication is so intricate, because you can explain something to somebody and they understand it a whole different way than what you intended for them to understand from what you said. So as far as like grandparents overstepping and things of that nature, I think that, from the grandparents' perspective, if they've never seen their child be a mother or a parent, then naturally, just like in any aspect of the child's life, they're going to try to step in and help you and give you advisement and, direct you as they've been doing up to the point that you started parenting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I think as a parent, a new parent or whatever, and seeing that, you have all these instincts, these motherly instincts, these fatherly instincts, and it's like a tug of war, because it's like you want to listen, but you have ideas too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you have the older generation and they have a certain way of doing things, but now you are the new generation. So naturally you're going to have newer ways, your mind's is going to work differently. So you're going to have different solutions to different problems and things like that. So I would say that, communication is key. And that's what's going to keep you from having this tension between the groups. You know what I mean? That's what I would say.
Do you feel like there's a good open line of communication, and expand beyond yourself, but as far as the generation and what you've observed, do you feel like there's a good, solid access to communication, which is some of the reason why I really am excited about this podcast? I'm really excited about listening to younger people that have the ability to communicate and express yourselves. Do you feel like you have outlets of expression when dealing with older generations, or do you feel a shutdown? And I want you to be as honest as you can here. Hey, I'm just saying, Gene, but y'all kick that out the door right now and give me the for real. Do you feel like there tends to be a breakdown between the younger generation? Are the older folks listening to you all? And that's why it was imperative to me to have you all have your own show and to allow it to be R-rated, so you could say what you want to say the way that you want to say it without having to curtail it and all of that. Do we put so many rules, regulations, and all of that on you that you can't really express yourself as a generation? And I'm gonna shut up.
Go ahead, Shelly.
Did y'all see my face? I mean, it's not that we don't have ways to communicate, right? Because we have way more ways to communicate. Not only do we have the old forms of writing letters and sending telegraphs, not that anybody's using those anymore, but we have texting, we have calling, we have Facebook Messenger and all different types of things. But I think that not only is there a shutdown, like when we speak up, it's almost like it's like, okay, I'm gonna be frank. We were praised like our whole childhood years of, oh, they're so smart, they're so intelligent, oh, they're doing so great in school. But as soon as we become adults and becoming parents, girl, you don't know nothing. Let me tell you, because you don't know nothing. And it's like, you praise me my whole life for being able to understand and being mature for my age and being intellectual. But then when I'm coming to you and I'm expressing myself and telling you, I don't think that's right, now I don't know nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I think it's just that we're not being heard in some instances where it's like they hear us, but then they're like, I know better. What I'm doing is better. Or they just don't want to learn. Sometimes.
Come on, girl. Talk your talk and walk your walk, Shelly Welly.
I'm trying to be frank.
I want you to be. That's what this podcast is about. And I don't want you to be anything else but frank. Lena, you deferred and kind of sidestepped. Come on and talk to me, girl. Talk to me.
Hey, Shelly, go ahead. No, I'm trying to think of it in a like you said, more collective idea. Not just my own experience, but the whole generation. I'm not sure how to answer it. But me personally,
Come on, let's just cut the podcast off. Lena acting scary.
This is how I deal with older folk. I value older. I just value the wisdom. I value the wisdom. I value the experience. Of course, they know more. They've been here longer. And so me, I just, even though if it's something that I feel like I know, I try to just listen and take it in and like chop up and get what I need. What I don't need, I let it go. Mm-hmm. Because you get the power struggle. You get the power if you try to stand up and like, no, I know this is better. They be like, no, all fat meat ain't greasy. They hit you with something like that. You made the bed lay in. What else have you said? You know what I mean? And I just don't have the energy for that. So I'll take it in. What I feel like is what I need. I'll take it. What I don't, drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Okay. I actually muted myself when I was talking, but I was saying, I feel you. I know exactly what you mean. You take into consideration what they say, but you don't really want to push back. You don't want to argue. And sometimes I don't want to challenge my elders because it's like, I like you, Grandma. I don't want to do this.
Tell me about this power struggle. Can you elaborate? Because we're talking about connections. Because if the power struggle breaks the connection, we got problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you're coming into adulthood and the people in your life that are older, they're trying to give you direction or tell you things or they'll tell you don't know and things of that nature. It could be a little exhausting, If I'm trying to grow and I'm giving you my ideas and you're shooting down because and sometimes they do know, Don't put your money in this but I'm thinking, no, that makes sense. And they're like, don't do it. Sometimes you just have to let people go through it and experience it. We're here to experience things, So I don't like. That's the power struggle. That's the issue. When you're trying to become an adult, but you have the adult here and they're giving you advice or, direction, sometimes it's hard to take because someone like me, I'm the kid that had to learn the hard way. Because even though I do listen, if I have an idea, if something's pressing me towards, okay, go this direction, I just have to do it. Because I can't, it's something in me that's telling me this is the way to go. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean about the power struggle. Do you feel that way?
Now.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Shelly. Go jump right on in.
No, I certainly do. I feel like sometimes it's like lay off or if you give in and you go ahead and state your opinion, it's listened to on the surface. It's not really taken to deep consideration. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. Somebody said you're a Sag, meaning you're a Sagittarius, Lena. we can all learn from each other. I'm looking at all these comments going on. I hope you guys can. Are you a Sagittarius? No, you're in October. You're with me.
No, I'm not.
But Lena is definitely a Sagittarius. So now,
Sagittarius, or is it Sagittarii? I'm not sure. But Sagittarius is Sagittarii. We can learn from them. Go ahead.
Come on, bring it, girl, bring it. You ain't playing. You telling the truth. Don't play. And Libras are balanced. That's all I can say. Isn't that right, Shelly? What can we say? We're balanced. Now, okay, so let's deal with the piece of it that you all put in the statement that you gave me about New Age, because even though we are respecting our seniors and those that are seasoned, it is a new age, and sometimes the seasoned and the seniors do not understand the new age. And so we have a breakdown there. So when you all are bringing something to us from the new age, then there tends to be a disconnect there, because the seniors and the seasoned don't necessarily understand it, but they don't want to hear it or don't want to acknowledge that they don't understand it. Would you agree with that or disagree?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's an issue. Some people would rather just do it the way that they know, and instead of learning the new information, it's working. So why fix something that's not broken? But I feel like that's a disconnect too, because I don't think that we're supposed to stop learning. I don't think, and if you look at every aspect of life, everything is growing and changing, and you know what I mean, and progressing.
Yes.
So anything that's like, oh no, I'm just going to stay here, then it's just realize that there's gonna be you're gonna be missing something. So if you want to stay there, that's fine, but there's so much more you can be experiencing and doing if you're learning continuously. Yep. And it's hard.
Exactly.
I look at myself in my life, there are things that I feel like are not progressing, regularly or how it's supposed to be, but you want to continue to try, because if not, you're just going to be you're just going to be left behind, That's what I think.
Come on,
absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I think that a lot of the times the reason why they don't want to make things shake because they're working is because you're comfortable. But I think everyone knows that in order to grow, you got to get out of your comfort zone. However, I don't know. I feel like at a certain age, once you have your way set, you don't have to adapt. I don't think you have to adapt, but understand that I'm doing things differently. So even though you can handle a situation however you wish to handle it, just understand. I guess that's all we need. We just need understanding. Understand me while I understand you. You may have, picked up a whooping stick every time somebody touched the refrigerator door, but I'm just not doing that. I have a shelf in my refrigerator that my kids can go to freely, because it's a lot to try to monitor. And that's just an example. It's a lot to try to monitor every little snack. So
that's a good point. And yes, we did get a whooping if we didn't ask. And so you're talking about a generational difference. And did we really need to get a beating and a whooping every time we want to, but then you're talking about a generation that they came from. And, so at the end of the day, you see this perpetuation in some areas that showed it did not work in our communities, but we continue to do it anyway. So there's good in the new age, but then we also want to make sure that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater as well. So how do we find that delicate balance of how to bring in and usher the new age concept? Because I do think it's a wonderful thing that parenting now, and y'all know, I told you I've taken a vow of nonviolence, which includes beating your kids. So everybody doesn't agree with me there. And that's not the way I was raised. That is not the way I was raised. But I'm just saying, but that's just me. Because my point is, if every time we get to a point of impasse, I resort to violence, how am I going to not expect you to resort to violence when you feel like you're at an impasse? That's just me. Everybody didn't have to go there. But at the end of the day, I will say that a lot of the younger parents that I see now, they do tend to find alternative ways of dealing with children or whatever the situation is. I don't want to just make it children, but your means of how you process and rectify things are totally different than the way my generation and then generations before us handled things. So I see some very, very good things that you guys are doing. But then there are also some things that I think you guys could mix and intertwine into your repertoire of tools. But how do we get to how do you guys figure that out? Let me just ask that simply. How do y'all figure that out?
I mean, I think that you should, sit and, actually, I think that we do a lot of things without thinking about it. And we learn a lot of things that we didn't really realize that we learned. So I feel like if you sit down with yourself or with your partner or whatever, I know we're speaking about parenthood or whatever, but in any aspect, and take inventory.
Yes.
And really, really like sit down and write out and see what it is you think and what it is you believe and how do you deal with situations and what do you think is right. And really see. And then, you can kind of contemplate, is this specific thing actually something that's going to work? Did it actually, bring anything to my life, or did it hurt me? Did it, take things away from me? And actually see, and talk with the people that grew you or whatever, and see what it is, why did they do the thing? Ask them, why did you do this? And if you do that, a lot of times people will say, well, that's what my parents did, or that's what I saw. So I think, right now is a really good time because a lot of people are talking about, assessing things and mental health or whatever. And you can actually see if you write it out or go through things and see exactly what's right and what do you want to continue, what do you want to not continue. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be some way to do that,
Cool. That's a good option. Shelly.
I think that would probably be the easiest way to go about things, because we could just argue. We could just go back and forth with our opinions until we know. But like I said, I think what you're saying is that just understanding that your way is not my way is the best way.
Cool.
But you still have to have respect. I want to, if you don't mind, I know we've been talking about the parenting situation, but what Lena just said kind of brought into light friendships. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot, especially on social media, you say one thing that somebody doesn't like, and it's all, now you're the bad person in their book. It's not like, oh, I'm still your friend from 7th grade who, you hung out every day with. It's like, now you're someone else to them. What have you seen that? Am I the only one who's seen that?
No, I've seen that. I've seen that a little bit. I think that was kind of loaded, because I feel like if somebody's disagreeing with someone, you vice versa, and that type of is not going to really be good in my space, then yeah. Disconnect from them. But
no, I completely agree with that.
You're saying like just simple thing, like little bitty differences, and then you're now you guys are not friends anymore.
But did you have a real connection to begin with? If that connection is that fragile and that easily broken, did you really have a connection to begin with?
That's a good point. Something had to always have been there for you to just be ready to cut me off at a small disagreement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that people should talk about things before. If it's somebody you really mess, somebody you really mess with, I think y'all should talk it out before, because sometimes people just be putting stuff on social media. So, or sometimes people just be saying something. So, you have to really sit back and talk to people and see what they really feel, and why'd you say that? What is that about? To really understand. But
I agree, and I'm that person. Listen, if I post whatever tickles me, and sometimes it's something I can relate to. Sometimes it's something that I have related to in the past, or just something that I thought was funny. Generally, maybe I haven't been involved in that type of situation, but I can picture it, or I can laugh at it, and I think I don't know if anyone's ever unfriended me or blocked me because of what I post, but I think that would be something to consider. Like if someone says something to you on social media, consider that they don't take social media as heavily as you do, and have that conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
now?
Yes, go ahead, Lena.
I'll say now I have had to disconnect from people who post too much. Now if you posting every 3 minutes, I will go ahead and cut you off because obviously we not on the same page. So that's something that that's you. And I'll call people up and be like, yo, what's going on with you? Are you working? No, but everybody, you know what I mean? But that's it. I don't think I've ever unliked somebody because of something they said or anything, because I don't really take this stuff seriously.
You got a witness, Lena. Somebody said me too.
Unless somebody that's really on here, like for real, you know what I mean? But if it's just people just on here just putting stuff, I'm like, oh, okay. Or if I know something's going on and they just posting about whatever is popular and they just doing all type of stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Do you guys see social media as real connection these days? Really, as real connection?
I think it can be though. I think yes. I think this is about to be the new. This is about to be what it is. So I feel like you can have real connection. I mean, I've seen some videos. Let me tell you, I'd be in this bed looking at some videos, be told up, commenting like "bless you," hope every. You can really connect through these videos. I'm serious, and through posts and everything. And I think it's good because sometimes people will post stuff, and I'm like, dang, I ain't the only one that feel like that. And it gives you like this sense of like, okay, it's others. It's more of me.
Cool.
And I think I think you can have real connection, but you just got to be careful, because some people, I had a friend to tell me that they just added somebody on Instagram and basically they don't know each other, and they like started commenting on each other's like posts and stuff, and so like all the big moments, they always comment on something, and it's just like you can actually create bonds and relationships, but you just have to be careful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. I have some friends that I met online first and then met in person, and then some that I just know online. That I feel like I say happy birthday, get engaged, congratulations, and don't know them outside of the interweb.
Exactly.
To those of my generation, that would seem odd, but I'm not challenging that, but I just want to bring that up as a difference between age. And then when I say age, I'm not talking about biological age. I'm talking about times of this age versus the age before. So this is much more, as you said, this is a time and a season where your generation, even those babies right there, I can remember when Jameis was barely walking and probably not even talking, and he was staying with his grandmother, and I'd be working and I'd get a call and a text. My text was QPZMG because he thought he was spelling words. I would be at work with clients and I would look down and it would be Jameis. And I'm like, how does this boy already know how to work a cell phone? Your generation comes almost like technology ready. You guys are tech ready. So when you talk to a generation that struggles to figure out how to press send, or you know what I'm saying, then your whole dynamic of your interaction and connections and how you connect is totally different from our generation's understanding of how to connect. How do you reconcile those two things? Good evening, Michelle Brown. Thank you for coming in. How do you connect those two different ways of how you make and build connections that is so different from the generations before you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, go ahead, Shelly, you can go.
I think that the best way I can describe it is like my grandma probably knows nothing about Facebook or anything on the internet, but when she needs something fast, like a phone number to her nail salon, she calls me and she tells me to Google it. So she knows what Google is for. She knows what it's used for and how she can get it. She just doesn't know how to use it. So I mean, showing each other and helping each other interact in those ways is probably the main way we can kind of bridge those two forms of connection. Because I didn't even think until I said it out loud how wild that must sound to some people that I only know friends online.
Mm-hmm.
But I seriously would consider them to be my friends. Like if I saw them in person, I'd give them a hug.
Mm-hmm.
And we've never seen each other before.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely that way with people that I've met on Twitch. So I get it. I totally get it.
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm muted. I mute myself in between so you guys can talk without interruption from my thing. But I said I feel that same way with people on Twitch that I've met, and I genuinely consider them to be friends. So that has pulled me into this new age of connection that I would not have had before. And I genuinely, just like you said, Shelly, I would consider them to be friends. If I walked up to them and saw them today, we would hug, we would greet each other, just like people that had known each other forever. And I do understand what you're saying, Lena. You have to be careful with that. But these are genuinely people that I would consider to be friends. And so connections now are very different from connections then. Do you think there's a lack of depth to that kind of relationship?
I can see it all over your face. I can see it all over your face, Lena.
I think me personally, I don't necessarily. I think that it's important to bring some of the old ways of connection into the new. I feel like the new way of connection is just taking over. So it's beautiful and it's different, but it's also like meeting people in person and, feeling that physical energy or touch or, I think that's important because we are physical beings. So, I mean, I think does it lack depth? I don't think so, because I feel like the internet kind of gives you, and some people use it for other things, but like when you can actually just put on the internet what it is you're doing, what it is you feel, what it is you want, you just put it out there and you don't have to worry about how people are going to take you or whatever. You just put it out there. Then it like allows this, this level. It's like a freeing. You can just be who you are. So I'm going to say it's just like everything else. It's how you use it, how you take it, how do you connect within it. So I think that it can be pretty deep. I think you can have relationships that are really deep if you connect in this type of way. But me, I would think I like a combination, of both. And I think that's more so what we should, not necessarily just not dealing, just all of it together. I think we should just be bringing all of it together.
Balance.
And that's, balance, exactly.
So I'm curious, and this is kind of shifting again, but still on the topic of connection. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm only assuming. You are a single lady out here in these streets, like Beyonce.
All the single
What are you
ladies.
feeling about?
Okay. You're breaking up on me. Say it again.
What are you feeling about dating apps? Do you feel like dating apps can be useful?
POF, OKQ, I've had them all.
Mike City in the house.
So you do the swiping.
I'm about to contradict myself because let me tell you something. No, what you saying, G?
And then I was just welcoming Mike City in the house. Good to see you, man. Keep going, keep going. Talk to me, girl. Talk to me. POF.
Ellie, this, hey, I was thinking that as we were talking about it, but yes, I've been on dating apps, and I've connected with people on dating apps, but do I think you can connect fully? No. Like people that be on Catfish, and they've been talking to these people for 5 years in and like deeply connected with people and never met them. Me personally, I couldn't do that because I'm gonna need to see you.
I've never watched the Catfish where the person calling Neve wasn't fooled. It's 2018. They don't have Wi-Fi. They don't have a video camera. Come on. You can go to the Apple store and video somebody on their display.
Do you hear me? Because Neves gets on Google every time, and that's all he does. And he finds these people. Y'all didn't want to find them. Oh, okay.
I just want to say, Mike City, who just came in, said he met his queen on POF. He met his queen.
I know several couples who have met online, not specifically dating apps, but online.
Now,
healthy, happy, lovely couple.
Yes. Now, let me tell you, since y'all asked me the question, I'm going to be transparent. Now, you were on POF for one day. Lord Jesus. Come on, Mike City. Work your magic. Work your magic, sir. That's all. That's my guy. Listen, she slid. Come on, slid into your DM. I am not mad. Do y'all hear? You got a witness. You got a testimony over here. And Mike City is my guy. I love this man, and I love Shelby. That's his queen. I love them both. Come on, Jonna said in one day.
That's how you do it. Exactly. Listen.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think you definitely connect with people on the dating apps. Definitely, I've heard a lot of stories. My ex-boyfriend, we met off of Black, so it's possible.
Okay. Now, so you asked me the question. I'm gonna answer it very honestly, and I am 100% for it. Mike just gave you a perfect testimony of how he and Shelby met one another. You met your. Let me tell you, I have no idea any of the apps that you just named.
Oh, I can name a few more. It's a sea of apps out there. It's 7 billion. Are we at 7 billion? It's so many options right now. It's crazy.
You don't have to be lonely.
You don't. For the night, for the week, for either way.
That's where you all are gonna lose me. But this is what I do want to say. Mike said, all I know is POF and BOK. They all right with him. So I have no clue what you all are talking about. But this is what I will say. And this is probably coming from, good evening, Dr. Dady Priest is in the house. Thank you for coming through to support these young lions. I love you, sis. Now, this is what I will say. And we're talking about connections. And I'm glad y'all made this shift. And I told y'all, now y'all get ready. Hold your weave. No, really. I'm going to just tell it like a TIZ. Tis for me. I am that girl that my whole element of relationships are based on friendship first. And so I'm a different kind of animal. So in all honesty, it is not, and I'm different in this regard, which is probably why I'm almost 60 and ain't married. But at the end of the day, or not with a partner, at the end of the day, my whole element is connection first and then grow it. So it's like at the very basic, it's got to be somebody that's my friend that I really, really like and enjoy before they even become attractive to me. And I'm not talking about, you know how folks can be like, oh, child. And I'm like, no interest to me, because if I don't have a friendship and a relationship, I'm not interested, because I want the foundation of a solid relationship for folks start jumping in the bed between the sheets and all this other stuff and start investigating between the navel and the knee. That's just me. Now,
do you feel like you can make that connection with your thumb?
I possibly could, if it could, because again, my foundational for me, and this isn't for everybody. Everybody can't roll where I'm rolling. For me, it's about the friendship first. There's got to be something about the friendship that I really, really like that makes them become attractive to me. Other than that, we just good friends and we can kick it. And we can kick it all day long. And I love kicking it. Listen, people are, ain't you lonely? I'm not lonely because I have the ability to go out and kick it with whoever I want to kick it with and have a great time. So, but that everybody doesn't have that makeup. Everybody is not wired like that. So, and my relationships, almost all of my real relationships are very deep, and I feel very deeply about my relationships. And that's my male friends and my female friends. So that whole element of like where other people are like, oh man, I really want to date. Are they clowning over there in that chat? I'm not reading. That where I'm kind of like, okay, y'all can go out here but you all are young, vibrant people. I'm old. But I've been this way my whole life. And so it's just, like I said, it's the way that I'm personally wired. I have no problem. What they doing over here? What they really talking? But that's my position. So I'm more than likely not going to go on, what is it? POF.
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish. Plenty of fish.
Black is for black.
Okay.
Farmers only. I think farmers only would be Aunt Jean's Avenue.
Farmers
you're sexual.
Huh?
You might be a sapiosexual when you're attracted to intelligence. So you like that's what you like.
Now let me tell you the two things that are attractive to me: intelligence and integrity and honesty. When I find in integrity and honesty and genuineness in a person, that is, now y'all sit there laughing, but I'm like, that is so sexy to me. When you really find somebody that is genuinely pure and honest, baby, now that's a turn on for me. And then if you got a mind on top of that, oh, listen, now we talking. But
you gotta you had to adjust yourself in your sheet.
Listen. You see me adjusting, girl.
I will be honest and say, at a certain point in my life, that wasn't me. Like, if you dressed nice and you had the right kind of swag, I was swooning. And I'll be quite honest and say that. Now, not to boost his head up too much, but Nicholas kind of put it into children. Thank you. Nicholas kind of put it into perspective for me, the building of connections, like finding out what really works between us before jumping in. And the way that changed things for me in relationships has been profound. I mean, it got to the point where I was like, oh, this is way better. It was like the whole new world. I love the moments of building up our friendship, even though we had been friends for so long, but building up our friendship, in the process of moving towards becoming spouses. And I mean, just, it made me look back on other situations like, what was I ever thinking? But, young and just having fun and not really thinking about all the hurt that was going to come after the fun. And building a relationship where the fun came with getting to know someone and then continues to thrive in our relationship, because we're continuously getting to know each other. That it's just exceptionally beautiful. Having someone who genuinely wants to know about what makes Shelly.
Come on.
It's something else.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
I agree with you there, although the younger Shelly didn't quite agree with that.
Well, I mean, but like I said, everybody's not wired that way, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna settle. So that was the way I rolled on that. Now, Lena, come on and talk to me, girl. Are you feeling me? Or you're not feeling me?
I understand what you're saying. I get it, but you see something that look good, it starts to do things to you. You see something, you be like, yes. What's your name? Yes. What'd you ask me? So, I wouldn't say that I'm I get connected. Let's bring it on back. I get connected, my eyes, I see something I like, it's gonna grab me, But I do think those things are important,
Yes.
when you're talking about developing a relationship or a marriage or a partnership. You got to be on the same level. You guys have to be looking for the same things. Y'all have to, but attraction, physical attraction, I don't think is negative or I don't think it's negative. I don't think it's even childish or immature.
No, and I don't have a problem with that either. Good evening, Royal Confessions. What your name is? What your name is? You're so silly. Now, but Lena, I feel like you hit a good point, but I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration. The idea that the physical, there is nothing. Listen, I'm not blind. I'm not deaf, dumb, nor stupid, but I'm not blind, baby. And so there's somebody for everybody. But listen, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If my eyes behold and the answer is no.
Yeah, that's true. Because sometimes your eyes can attract you to something and you get in that thing and you start to see the other stuff that you don't see with your eyes you listen for. You'll be like, oh, man. Oh, how'd I get back into this? So,
but the point of the connection.
Like, this looks real familiar all of a sudden.
See, right. Been there, done that.
Different body. You be like, oh, you the same person.
Yeah.
Just,
how many sisters get trapped in that because it is the same person in just a different body, and they just keep going around in circles around that same mulberry bush. Here we go around the mulberry bush. But I feel like that's because, going back to our point on tonight, connection. Where's the connection? Are you really, because listen, you can get between the navel and the knee and get real hot and bothered, but is there really a connection between the navel and the knee, between your navel and your knee?
Yeah, that's
Here she go. We were just talking about this. He's saying
that's a t-shirt, navel and the knee. I like that.
Between the navel and the knee has made a whole lot of decisions, wrongly so.
I mean, that voice is loud.
You understand?
You thought it was voice is loud.
Baby, that cats are screaming. So you got to deal with, okay. So you got to deal with the reality of what's really going on. Do I have a connect? Lena, did I take you out? I took you out. You got to be really clear on what's talking to you.
This is important. This is something, yeah. And that goes back to being connected to yourself.
Come on.
You got to know, first of all, you have to know what it is you want.
Yes.
What it is you need.
Come on.
In a relationship. Even if you're talking about, we can even take it to friendship. What you want, what you need. And then you have to be able to decipher through things. Because, people... And a lot of people do it. They put their best foot forward at first, but then once those things start to die down, you see the real person. And so you have to know what you want, what you need, and what direction you're trying to go.
Come on, make it plain.
Those three things is not going to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need all three.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Shelly. I see you shaking your head.
You need all three, absolutely. I do think that some things can be built upon. If you guys have matching core values,
mm-hmm.
I think you can run with that. I think that some things can be built upon and you can figure things out along the way.
Now there's a lot of truth in that. But and I'm trying to think what you said earlier. You said when you were talking about how people just, if something isn't right, you were talking about on like social media.
Cancel culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Cancel culture, and then you just done with people. But that, when you think about relationships, when you start to get to know somebody and you find out a piece of them that is not something that you agree with, how do you know when to disconnect or to work on it? You know what I mean?
That's hard.
Let me tell you.
I have never, when I first saw the signs of someone not being the right fit, I've never left at the right time. And it's just being honest. Whenever I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. That's how we're moving, and just try to stick it out.
Now, let me say, from a place of age, not necessarily because it was wisdom, but this I can say, and I will say, I do feel good about, because when I tell you that the integrity is sexy and attractive to me, when I tell you that the intelligence is attractive to me, and that there has to be a friendship as the core foundation before we start talking about, and I'm talking about a strong friendship. I ain't talking about, oh, we know each other. I'm talking about a really, really strong friendship is a prerequisite. I can say, and some people are like, what? You got an ex? I'm friends with all of my exes. We have no problems, none whatsoever. My fiance that passed away, ex-fiance that passed away, and this I because you were talking about connections. When he went into his coma, before he went in, he told the nurse with his last breath before he went unconscious, call Regina. I stayed with him from Monday through Thursday until he passed away. And the only way he really passed away on Monday, by the time the nurse called me and I got there, he was really out. He was gone. But his family was not available. And I wasn't going to say, even though he had given them that I had permission to do whatever, I wasn't going to do anything with him without his family's permission, know-how, and input. So from Monday to Thursday, he laid on that machine. Now, I said all that to say this. The greater thing that I can think, and there was some major problems there, but we were friends. You understand what I'm saying? We were friends, and it was humbling and an honor to me that in his last conscious thought was call Regina, because we were friends.
Oh. So how did you remain friends?
Because we talked it out. We really talked about what the issues were, and we agreed that the issues were not conducive for what I wanted. And I will say this, I do feel like he loved my dirty draws, but he had issues. I'm so serious. I do believe that he loved my dirty draws, but he had issues. And so at the end of the day, I was able to see beyond his issues and separate the issues from him. And we genuinely talked about it very openly. We had conversations that most people would have been just absolutely blown away and like, ain't no way, ain't no way, ain't no way. But at the end of the day, and I feel like this, if you really love somebody, really, really, really love somebody, I just don't know how you can turn your back on those people and walk away, and all of a sudden y'all like the worst enemies that ever were. I can't grasp that. But I know that it happens with people, but I can't grasp that, because the friendships that I have with the people that I've been involved with in a relationship have always been solid enough that when we walk away, we're still friends.
Yes, I think that's beautiful. I think that's the goal, but it's difficult ending like that when you try to have conversations with people and people don't want to be the bad person, or they don't want to be the one who was the reason why the relationship didn't work. So it's difficult to have those, like, continue those relationships after the relationship didn't work, like continue a friendship, if the person's not able to kind of like do some self-assessment. Let me say this, because I need to clean that up, because he wasn't the only one that had issues. I had my own issues. So I had my own issues. So let's be fair there. I'm not going to dump everything on him. I had my own issues, but I did have enough presence of mind to know this wasn't a route that I wanted to go down for myself. But I still had my issues, and I brought those issues to the relationship as well. And Brother Man put up with some stuff from me too. So that's a two-way street. I'm not going to dump that on him. I'm not. So but this was the thing. Our conversations were completely transparent. And when I tell you we talked about some stuff that most folk would have been like, oh no, y'all, yes, we did.
And we did it with love. We parted with love. We stayed in touch all of the time and right up to the time he took his last breath. And he knew I would not leave him on his deathbed. I would not have. I don't get none of that. At the end of the day, none of that mattered. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because that's connection to me. That's connection to me.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I definitely understand you. I'm growing.
Mm-hmm. This is my goal. This is usually at the end of each relationship, if I have a relationship and I see that it's not going to be successful, this is usually my goal. Like, I want it to end at a point to where I don't see you as a monster, you don't see me as a monster, it just didn't work out. And so we can continue a friendship after this, but it's difficult. It's difficult to do that with people I've found in my situations.
And sometimes you need space. Sometimes you do need a season of space. Sometimes you do need to just everybody go to their respective corner to everything in your emotions. Because baby, emotions will take connections and absolutely destroy them. Like there was never a connection there if you let them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there is something about time out. Everybody go to their corner. Everybody have their own space. Everybody get your head together and do whatever you need to do to work on yourself. And then when you get yourself at a space that you can deal and cope and then come back without always going back to the past, without always digging up and scratching out folks' eyes, without always. And this is a thing about relationship when you talk about connection. When you have been holding and hoarding stuff up for months and months and months, and then one little thing happens and you get this vomiting of you did this, and 5,000 things come out at one time. And you're like, whoa, Nelly, who knew? Because you didn't say anything. But
that's me. I'll be taking notes and I'll be like, yeah. And then once that little rice, you put that last rice on that thing and it flips over, then
the straw that broke the camel's back.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's important. I mean, to speak on if this issue comes up, address it right then, and that's just the best way to do it. Because if not, you're going to be like that straw or that piece of rice, and it's just going to come flooding out, and it's like, I had no clue.
And I'm going to be the first to admit, even in the situation, because if I'm open enough and I know him well enough that he would not have a problem with me sharing this with you all on this stream. But I'm understanding enough to know that I brought a lot of the baggage that broke down the communication. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? There were reasons why he didn't necessarily bring everything to me, because when I start clowning and going someplace else when he's trying to talk, that's not a good combination. So what are you going to do? You're going to shut down and stop talking and clam up. And so the connection gets, it becomes almost like a cord around your neck to strangle the relationship instead of really building the relationship. Because, at that point, he's not talking, not necessarily because he didn't want to talk, but he didn't want to deal with my responses and reactions to him talking.
What you're describing right now is what I was trying to describe in relationship to parents and grandparents. I think this all kind of comes full circle, because that's exactly right. If I'm scared of what you're going to say back to me, then I'm not even going to say anything at all, because I just don't want to take it there. So this just shows the connection between connections. I mean, romantic relationships, friendships, parent-child relationships, it all is very much intertwined.
Come on.
I think that where the reboot lies in this is that people need to feel safe to be able to express what they're feeling and to be able to take what somebody expressed. Like, they need to feel safe. I think people blow up, react to where they don't want to go through the issue because they don't feel like they're safe, or they're going to get the short end of the stick. if there was a way that we could, with whoever you have a issue with or a point that needs to grow with, if both parties could feel safe and just, there's not going to be any type of, like Aunt Jean, like you said with the guy, you were able to have a open, honest, very truthful conversation, because I believe that both of you guys probably felt safe and able to speak on everything
at that point. Yeah.
That's what's confusing to me. Like, after all the hurt, was there a time lapse? Was there a period of time where you didn't speak and then you came together and had that conversation? Or was it just like, forget you, I'm moving out. Okay, well, let's sit down and be cordial and talk now. Like,
there was a span of time. We did have a break. We had a time where we separated and had no contact, or very minimal contact. I'll say it like that. I don't think we ever had a time when there was no contact, but it went to very minimal contact, but very cordial contact. It was never, oh, I hate your guts, don't ever talk to me. No, never that. Because that's not his personality. It's not really my personality either. However, there was a time when I needed to heal. And again, I'm not putting all of it on him, but there's certain things that when it goes down, you got to give yourself some space and some time. And I think probably even after having gone through some counseling, let me throw that in there, because I do want to address the fact that sometimes you need to work. And my counseling wasn't about him. My counseling really was about myself and my own issues. And so you had two people trying to bring a whole lot of baggage to a relationship, and two people that were coming to a relationship that really it was off from the beginning. Now, nobody wants to admit it was off from the beginning, y'all. Let's just say it was off from the beginning. Let the church say yes. Let the church say amen. It was off from the beginning. But when you know something's off from the beginning and you try to make it work in spite of anyway, without dealing with the truth, you get what you get. And you had two totally wounded, tore up people trying to come together and make a relationship, and it was just a shipwreck. And at the point in time that I was able to get counseling, not about him, I didn't go to counseling because of him. I needed to have already been in counseling for my own stuff. Let me make that clear. So he needed to have been in counseling for his own stuff. And the two were not there was not an intersection there. It was just we had both. But at the point in time that we both got healed enough that we could talk, then it was very wholesome. It was very cathartic. It was very healing to have that conversation. And even, I mean, you talking about the ugly cry, and when a man can break down and have the ugly cry with you, and you can have the ugly cry with them and get it all out for real. Oh, baby. And that is the path to where on his deathbed, he was able to say to that nurse before he went all the way out, please call Regina. And so that is a place of hope, a place of healing, a place of help, hopefully for people as they hear that kind of story, because you don't have to just break all the way down. And it was some serious stuff going on. So but at the same time, understanding a person's heart, understanding who they are for real, when you can get past all of their baggage and stuff, and vice versa, he for me, and you can appreciate that for what it is and still have connection. That's what I'm talking about, connection.
Yes. I think that in what you said, when you take a period to yourself and heal, I think that sometimes disconnection is a great way to heal your connection with people, because you have to kind of like step back and, if you are you're in these relationships, take a step back and disconnect from that and really try to see what's going on. And then when you are healed, come back, which is basically what you said. Come back, and then you can.
I was somewhat healed. I wasn't all the way healed, but I was somewhat healed. Okay, so join in the song with me, ladies. Separate what we gotta do. Separate. Y'all know that one? You don't know that song?
Oh, I'm working. night. I'm cooking and I'm cleaning. All you wanna do is fight. Why me? Why me? I think it's about time that we both move on because that's the jam right there.
Somebody drop me a title in the comments because I'm lost.
Yo, we used to sing that. Me and my sister, I would get a mic, she would get a pen, and we would go back and forth because a man and a woman sing the song.
Yes.
And we would, let me tell you, that's the jam right there.
Come on, Shelly, you don't know anything about Separate. Listen, we're not paying you any attention, Rebel.
I don't know the Separate ladies.
Oh, goodness. Okay, but until you can get healed, somebody needs some space. There we go. Until we get healed, somebody needs some space. So now let me say, now we talked about Sha'Carri Richardson and connections and the fact that she tested positive and is now disqualified for running in 2021 Olympics. And we're talking about dealing with mistakes. I want to make this little shift, this little turn. Come on. Should she have been disqualified? Let's start right there.
Yes. It's unfortunate, but yes. I don't, not that I disagree with marijuana use. I absolutely do not. Because it was a rule of her sport, this was not her first day performing in this sport. She was very, I'm sure she was very well versed in the rules of her sport. So she knew that it wasn't allowed. Although I can extend grace to her and say, keep going, sis. Like, I fully support her. She knew, and it was a mistake. I don't think that she should have been penalized the way that she has. Mm-hmm. I think the penalty should have been much lighter, especially considering our country's move towards legalizing marijuana. I mean, it makes no sense that is even a rule, but because it is, yeah. Unfortunately, the circumstances are what they are.
Okay. Lena?
I feel like, it was a rule. So, I mean, I guess, but I just think that it's such a sad situation. It can be. I'm sure for her, I'm sure she experienced sadness, but I mean, it's a different time now, I feel like. a lot of people are making legal money from marijuana consumption, marijuana growth. They have marijuana farms. I mean, people are making millions from this. So how can on this end, people, be prospering from marijuana or whatever, and then on this end, how her dreams and every hard work, everything is taken away from her. It just doesn't match up. But I understand, it's on the international level or whatever, but I don't feel like she should have been disqualified, I don't. But it was a rule, so I get it, but it's just a jacked up situation, really, because everybody was so excited about her and everybody was so proud and, all these, everybody's like on top of the world. I think a lot of people saw themselves within her and, then this happens. It just felt like a lot of things got stripped from her. So I just am disappointed that happened, but I'm standing behind her 100%. I think people make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and then to think about her situation, trying to become an Olympian is a lot. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication, and she got there. And I mean, she was number one.
Yes.
So to see, I think that, this is not the end for her. I think that this is just a situation, but I don't think this is going to be the end for her at all.
Cool. The way we tied this in when you all shared it with me was
you're
from
muted, Aunt Jean.
Oh, okay, thank you. So let me get back to that. I was getting this ready for y'all. I had to find it. Here we go. I had to find it. So we were talking about accountability in connections. accountability in relationships. And so at the end of the day, I'm gonna play this video, and those that have been on Yes You O Cubed, you've already seen it, but this was something that our young lions wanted to run again for the purpose of really encouraging this to be the type of approach that we have when people are taken over by a situation. And the one thing I do want to say about her is that she took responsibility. She didn't seem to try to pass the buck and shirk that. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Shirley, I know, are the babies okay? I know it's getting late in the night, so I don't wanna push you too long. But I'm gonna run this beautiful bean footage.
Oh, I got a fussy little guy, but he just needed his diaper change.
Okay, cool. Come on, Sean. That's him. Isn't he gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Isn't he just handsome? He said, give me that camera. I'm going to show this footage, and this is what we love about how the Sisterhood of Lions came and supported Sha'Carri in this particular area. And this is what you all said y'all want to see more of as far as the community coming together. I'm going to roll this beautiful bean footage.
Dear Sha'Carri,
sis,
in the last few weeks, you've experienced
the highest of highs
and the lowest lows.
Last week, finding out my biological mother passed away and still choosing to pursue my dreams.
You've inspired
people from all walks of life
to stand in their greatness.
What we also know is we all make mistakes.
Mistakes that can be costly.
You know how I know?
You know how I know? Because I made them.
Because I made them.
They were hard.
They were painful.
And many times self-imposed.
But you know what my mom always says? This too shall pass.
and you will grow from this. Girl, honey, you gonna glow from this.
You will.
You will become
Stronger.
You will become wiser.
And regardless of what the world says,
we
got your back.
Without my grandmother, that would be no Sha'Carri Richardson. So my family is my everything. My everything is to the day I'm done.
We are your tiger family, even in the darkest moments.
so guess what you gonna do, baby girl?
Wipe away your tears, girl.
Fix your crown.
Continue to run your race on and off the track.
But you know what? You are far from done. And we will be here,
Cheering you on
to live the greatness.
that you were destined for.
Go get it, girl.
Period.
And so there, I want you all to talk to me about connections, accountability, how we can, even in the midst of making mistakes, still not disconnect from one another. And I'm going to let you all talk.
I absolutely love this video. I love that. I love that these women who've gone through what Sha'Carri's gone through as far as being an athlete come together and really encourage her, because that's what she needs right now, you know, and she needs to know in the midst of, you know, what seems like turmoil, you're fine, you're okay, and you will continue to grow and you will get better, and you will come out of this stronger and exactly where you're supposed to be. So I think this is great for connection because, you know, I think that it's hard. It's even harder for like, she's young, she's Black, and, you know, she represents, and usually when somebody's like in the limelight, they represent the whole race. When it comes to Black people, sometimes we put that whole thing right on top of their shoulders. And so then I can just imagine how she might feel right now or when it first happened. And so then for, you know, these people who she's really carrying their legacy really because they came before her, for them to come and say, you know what, do not let this stop you. And, you know, all it is a mistake. That's it. Like, it's not the end of the world. It is not your end all be all. It's just a mistake, and guess what, we all made it, and you're gonna make some more too in the future. Continue to go. That's it. That's all. And I think this is exactly what she needed to see, and hopefully it encouraged her, you know.
And touch on the accountability piece in that, please. Particularly as young people, how do you perceive younger generations deal with accountability in a situation like this?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really commend her because I feel like she did take, you know, she took full responsibility. Like you said, she didn't try to, she just said, you know, I came out, I made a mistake. I knew what was right. I did what was wrong. And here we are. And so I think it's important for kids or younger people to see that because, you know, we tend to shy away when it comes to like us in the bad light. When we're in the bad light, we tend to shy away. But if you could understand that when you take accountability for something that you've done that's not right or good, you know, it places, it gives you like, it almost gives you like some type of pride. Like, yeah, I did something wrong, but I can stand here and say I did it wrong, and I'm going to still continue, you know. So take accountability, I think, is important. It's an important lesson in life, man. It really is, because if you think about anything, you know, with connections, when you think about any type of relationship you have, taking accountability is going to be the first step to creating a better situation. It just is. So for her to do that at such a young age, and she, you know, she was just upfront, I think is great for people to see, because it's going to also encourage them to do that in their own lives. Because I feel like if you look at this situation, a lot of people can, what do you call it? When you, I'm trying to think of the word, it just hopped out of my mind. A lot of people can also understand and feel what this might feel like. Maybe not at that level.
Empathize.
They can empathize, they can relate. And some, you know, you've come so close to something, and because of something you did, it's gone now. So anybody can really empathize with that or relate to that. So hopefully people can see why it's important to be accountable and just continue.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Come on,
I honestly could not have said it any better. I mean, I think the big picture here is you are not your mistakes. You did this, and we're gonna move forward, and you're gonna keep running, and you're gonna keep training, and in 4 years, when it's time to go back, you're still gonna be the fastest woman in the world. And the big connection part that I see is that the whole world is still behind Sha'Carri. The whole world, everyone who was for her is still for her. I have not seen very many, even the people who are like, now she knew better and kind of like shunning her, are still like, but keep going, girl. Like, everyone is still in support of her, because it is a bogus rule. I mean, we can disagree with the rule itself. In a country, like I said before, in a country where marijuana is being sold like a cell phone, how are we penalizing our athletes for it? It's not performance enhancing. It's not helping her be more successful. She's successful with or without it. And that's what we're going to see in the next 4 years. When she's allowed to come back, we're going to see that she's still performing at the same rate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good observation by both of you. I like the accountability is not being shunned and shirked. We're not saying don't deal with it. But at the end of the day, and I know grown-ups that won't take accountability. So, hey, come on. She's done a magnificent job. And to be in the spotlight under the lights of the world, and as you said, Lena, having to try to carry the responsibility of the Black community, which is not hers to do, but that is often the position that we put individuals in. This had to be a crushing experience for her, but she's coming back without a doubt. So with that being said, we're going to turn the corner and come on into the last segment. And at this point, I'm gonna let y'all drive this car, because now we're getting ready to talk about situations like this and others. How in the world do we turn that thing around? Turn that thing around. Come on here. Let's talk about how we turn that thing around. And that being said, Lena, and I want you, Shelly, to just take us home with how you turn this thing around.
Okay. All right. Well, let me give a little explanation. It's kind of like a game, you know. This is something that I try to do in my own personal life when things don't go right. I try to see the positive in it. So what I'm going to do is we're gonna take Sha'Carri Richardson. We're gonna take her situation, and she's gonna be our turn that thing around. She's gonna be our idea that we work with today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask Shelly. I'm gonna give you some scenarios, some of the aspects of what we consider to be negative or what has gone wrong with this whole situation. And basically, your objective is to hear the negative thing, hear the bad thing, and give it a positive outlook. It seems bad, but no, it's really positive. So let's say, I'm gonna give you an example. So if I say, oh, I just broke up with this guy and now I'm sad and I'm lonely. So turn that thing around. I broke up with a guy, but now I got a whole bunch of free time and all my pillows support me. I don't got pillows anymore. So that's how I turn that situation around. You see what I'm
Yes.
Okay, so I'm about to hit you with 6 things that has to do with this Sha'Carri situation, and you just turn it around in a positive aspect, okay?
Yes.
Okay, the first one is, Sha'Carri, they said she is potentially going to lose most of her endorsements, and it's going to be due to, the drug suspension. So how do you see the positive in that?
You got free endorsements for all the dispensaries in the marijuana industry. There's marijuana shops. There's marijuana stores. There's too many marijuana businesses. I mean, she's got. Come on, open it up.
It's a big business right now. The marijuana industry is.
Show me the money.
Snoop Dogg's gonna endorse her.
Exactly. How you turn that thing around. You hear me?
Turn it around.
Well, she still got Nike, so come on with some.
Yeah. Nike's here.
Okay, the next one is, she's gonna be suspended from the Olympic Games. So these, I can imagine her saying to herself, this has been what I've been working so hard for. I'm suspended. I'm down in the dumps. How do you turn that? If you were talking to her, how would you turn that thing around?
I would say you get to keep training outside of the spotlight. While your competition is out there in the spotlight, possibly being worn down by the spotlight, you get to keep training outside of it.
Yes, that's good, because now everybody's at this level. They trying to get the gold on this one. But now Sha'Carri gonna add another 4 years of training on to herself.
Come on.
Yes, and you don't have to worry about the press conferences and everybody being in your business. She can lay low. She can duck off, keep training, and come back in 4 years, still the fastest woman in the world.
They thought Sha'Carri was a beast. This 2021.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm scared of what she gonna be doing in 4 years.
2025. Yeah.
Okay.
Has anybody seen Manifest? See how those people came back younger and stronger?
Wait. AG, have you seen Manifest yet? It's a show on Netflix. We ain't got the Netflix sponsorship yet, but it's a show on Netflix.
I haven't seen it yet, but y'all gonna make me watch it. I'm gonna go watch it now.
Okay, this is spoiler alert kinda, but basically it's just about this plane that disappeared.
Okay.
And the been gone for 5 years, but the plane just reappears. And the people haven't aged, they haven't done anything. It's crazy. It's really good. But Shelly, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. 4 years, Sha'Carri, y'all think she a beast now. She gonna be, I'm ready. Okay. Right, they said not Manifest. Okay, number 3. I can imagine Sha'Carri saying to herself, man, the whole entire world is basically, it's hard to make missteps in regular life. The whole world has seen Sha'Carri make a misstep. So what would you say to Sha'Carri? I made a misstep in front of the whole world. So it's even more shame or whatever.
My one thing I could say to that is it's only up from here. They've seen the worst come out of you, or not even, in my opinion, not the worst, but they've seen you mess up. Now show them who you are. Show them the lion within you. Show them how you keep going, you get better, and you grow.
There you go. This is how you reboot. You see it?
This is how you reboot.
You listen. I love this because when you change your perspective of things, it's a ball jam. You can't change things that's happening to you. Things are going to happen to you in life, but that perspective, it's going to either make you or break you. So if you can see the positive and the negatives, you got something good. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, the next one is, another negative is she works incredibly hard for something, and then she failed when it counted. Not necessarily failed, but she put all this work and hard work into it, and it seems like now it was for no reason. How do you turn that perspective around?
Hey, this one's hard because you worked to get to be the fastest woman in the world, and because of your mistake, it was taken from you. I mean, it wasn't taken from you. Because of your mistake, the world is focusing on the mistake and not you. I would say in this instance, it's more of a neutral. You have to sit with it. You have to feel that pain for a minute so that you can bloom from it. It's hard. You see your face all over the news, all over social media. Sit with it. Be in that zone for a minute, and then you can grow out of that zone.
Okay, number 5 is if I'm just imagining Sha'Carri. I'm just thinking about her because my heart goes out to her, but I know it's not going to be bad for a long time. But what about if she's sitting there, she's feeling like she let everybody down, like her coaches, her family, all the people that had become proud of her because they seen themselves in her, and basically people when they're in the limelight, they feel like they have the whole culture on them. What would you say to her if she felt like she said, I feel like I've let every single person down?
We all, I mean, not we all, but a lot of us do it. You haven't let anyone down. Look at everyone around you. A lot of people smoke marijuana, and you're the only person who has smoked marijuana and become the fastest person in the world. You've done nothing wrong. You are a normal person. You're allowed to, partake in your recreational, I don't even want to call it a drug. You're allowed to partake in whatever you need to kind of de-stress, decompress. You've done nothing wrong. Don't let anybody shun you or shame you, because half the people out here doing it, there's people out here doing it with no jobs, not even providing for their family. You're a world-class athlete while still smoking marijuana. There's nothing you've done wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the last one I have is, how do you turn having to watch someone else take your place, and how do you turn watching the Olympics 2021 and you're not there? How do you turn that around in a positive light when she has to see somebody else take her? I mean, she would have got the gold medal. What do you do? How do you see that?
How do you see that in a positive light? Watching the other people. Man, you got some hard ones, Lena. Clap for them. I mean, you know what you did. She's taken accountability. She's been, the stand-up person to say, I know what I did wrong. Clap for them, and then in 4 years, whoop them. Leave them in the dust.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I said on this one, I was the person who win the gold. Every time I see them, I just be like, that's my gold, right? Just let you know. You got
if we're going the petty route, that's it. That's my gold.
That was supposed to be mine, but okay, congratulations.
They get to talking reckless. Hey, be easy. Be easy, or we can put some cleats on.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you got gold. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's it.
Exactly.
That was really good, Shelly. That was really good.
You got some Timberlands back here in the back. You got some Timberlands in the back. This has been the edition of Reboots. Turn that thing around. Turn that thing around. And I just want you to know that listen, I got to give it up. That was great.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
And for anybody that thinks otherwise, Shelly did not know the questions that Lena was going to ask her. And I think Shelly did an excellent job answering. And Lena, who is the creator of this concept and idea, did a very good job putting it together. Y'all, this was great. This was awesome. I saw Gwen. This is good and so needed. It really is. Because sometimes people, when they feel a certain way, they just need to know some options, how to turn that thing around, how not to get stuck right there where they are. You guys, y'all did that thing. Y'all did that thing. You really, really did. Thank you. Thank you.
Stacey said she was waiting for it to get R-rated today and it didn't. So I just wanted to say, we're being cool. We're playing it nice. Okay. When we do get there, don't cancel us. Don't be ready to knock us off.
Listen, Stacey, this is the maiden voyage. You didn't want us to come out and just put all this stuff out there on this is the maiden voyage, and they have done an excellent job. And they're also trying to respect me and deal with me and my age and all that. But at the end of the day, excellent job. Excellent job. Excellent job. Now, what we're going to get ready to do is get our closing learnings and our mantras as we get ready to wrap up. I want you all, and that was excellent. This is just really, you all have delighted my heart. I just can't tell you enough. I'm going to let you all close with whatever learnings, shared things that you want to bring out of this and your mantras before we get up out of here.
My mantra for this week and for this podcast is going to be connect, just let it go. That's it. That's my mantra. Connect, just let it go.
That's a good one. I like that one. I think mine, even though I just said it recently, I think mine is going to be you are not your mistakes, because you can mess up connections and you can redeem them, as Aunt Jean has showed us. You can mess up jobs and you can move on to a better situation. And I think that a lot of people need to realize, don't dwell in where you have gone wrong. Continue to pursue your dreams, even when you have, or if you feel like you have failed.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not your mistake.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's a word to anybody that's out there listening, young, old alike. It can apply to your life. If you find yourself that you've been stuck with any of the things that in one way or another, you heard yourself or saw something of your children or something that's going on in your life. If you saw that, I mean, these two lions have put themselves and put some information down on tonight. I just want to give you guys kudos, because for a maiden voyage, and I know you all had a little nerves and some other things slightly going on, but you all did a phenomenal job. I just want you to know this is great. This is only beginning and we're going up from here. And yes, it was wonderful. It was, I mean, everybody, great podcast. This was wonderful, much needed. Hand claps and applause, kudos, all of that good stuff. You guys did an absolutely banger job, and I want to thank you. I'm gonna let you say anything else that you want to say besides your mantras. Anything you can laugh, joke, talk. Lena, you can sing. Do you sing, Shelly? I don't know.
In the shower. that's about it.
That works. You ladies.
The only thing that I wanted to say additionally is I'm welcome to followers and friends on the interweb. So follow me if you so please. My handle is at Miss Shelly Welly, MISS Shelly SHELLY WELLY. And that's Instagram and Twitter.
Awesome.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. I had a really good time. I'm glad we had the comments and everything. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm excited about next week and what we're going to continue to do. I guess you guys can follow me. My Instagram is Leor Music, LEEOR Music. And there you go.
And thank you. I want you all, please spread the word. We want as much.
You're muted.
Thank you. You know, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that I mute myself so that I don't cut you guys off as far as any interference. But thank you for letting me know. I want you all to please spread the word. We want the young folks to come in. I think these young ladies, these lions, have something. They are roaring. We want to get this into the hands, minds, ideas, and hearts of our young people, as well as anybody. This is open for everybody. Definitely, by all means, we want everybody to come up in here. Spread the word, get it out there. Let's encourage them. And by all means, come back next week. We will love to see you. Same bat time, same bat station. And I appreciate you. And as I always say, these lions, this pride, Pride, this pride of lions is relentless. And you're going to hear us roar. Thank you so much for coming in the room on tonight. We'll look for you next time, 7 o'clock next Friday night for another edition of Reboot.
Growth, longevity, understanding, and integrity.